Now, conservancies, or rather community wildlife conservancies, are important entities where communities can actually have an opportunity to access wildlife-related benefits, or rather conservation benefits. So through conservancies, communities are able to practice ecotourism, and from ecotourism now they can gain from the benefits that accrue from tourism.
I'm the chairman of Lumo Wildlife Community Sanctuary or Conservancy. This conservancy is based in Taita, bordering the Savo West and Savo East.
Lumo Conservancy, and the neighboring ranches, harbors or hosts the biggest population of elephants in the Savo Conservation Area. At every single time, and especially during the dry seasons, we get heavy concentrations, very high concentrations of elephants allowed here. So we can say that Lumo Conservancy, or this conservation initiative, is contributing greatly to the conservation of elephants.
Lumo was started in 1998. People gathered and thought perhaps they could come together and start a community project.
When people or when communities start their own wildlife sanctuaries or conservancies for that matter, then they are able to reap from tourism. Then they are able to support wildlife conservation because then wildlife has meaning, an economic meaning to the people.
We have 3 ranches within this area. We have Laleni Ranching Company, we have Mramba Group Ranch, and Oza Group Ranch. The 3 ranches decided that they should form a sanctuary to protect the wild animals. Laleni contributed about 75,000 acres, Mramba about 10,000 acres, and Oza about 20,000 acres. So these were joined together to form the sanctuary or the conservancy area. Now, after forming this conservancy, we started by asking for donors to bring us some aid so that we could build houses, we could build a lodge, and see if we could have tourists coming in so that we can have an income by charging them gate fee and bed night for the lodge.
One of the strategies in conservation of wildlife is through the establishment of community conservancies, and community conservancies have been set aside so that we involve communities in wildlife conservation. And the very critical feature about conservancies is that they act as critical connectivities between conservation areas, particularly the national parks.
We thought we should come together and see how we can benefit from these resources. So after coming together, they went and registered the Lumo trustee.
In Savo Conservation Area, for example, Lumo Conservation or Conservancy is a connectivity between Savo East and Savo West National Parks. And looking at conservancies as they are, communities benefit in a big way from conservation of wildlife since they become direct beneficiaries of wildlife conservation.
This was the first gate or the first gate house or guard room. But when we got more funds and when we started picking up, we put up the modern gate. So this one has remained as an archive for us. This has assisted the community to realize that wild animals or the conservancy can give them something to boast about.
People came together and gave out that land to make a wildlife conservancy, that is Lumo, with an intention of both conserving wildlife and at the same time trying to access tourism-related benefits. That is exactly what is happening. Fortunately, within Lumo, poaching is slightly lower. It's much lower than even the neighboring ranches. One reason is that here we have game scouts or game community rangers that are within Lumo. But within the neighboring ranches, the same ranches that contributed land to Lumo, they suffer some level of wild elephant poaching.
So this is a plus for us and KWS. We have had a good and cordial relationship with KWS. They have also assisted us in putting up electric fence around the camp, because we have an edge site camp within this place.
Lumo Conservancy has also a tourism facility, which is the Lion Braff, which belongs to Lumo, and it is leased out to an investor. So this investor pays, lease fees to the Lumo Conservancy, and the same, revenue, the same benefits, pitches out the community. That is one level of revenue or benefit. The other one is from gate collections. So we have visitors who come into Lumo to view wildlife, and they pay park entrance fee, or rather entrance fee, and the same now adds to the same revenue base.
What I'd advise other communities who have such resources in other countries is that they should partner up with other like-minded people who would like to conserve the flora and fauna. They come together, they do as we have done.
Lumo imeinua wananchi. Tumejenga shule, inaendelea kujengwa. Ni mali inayotoka hapa Lumo. Tumewanunulia uniform. Wale watoto ambao ni maskini, hawana wazazi, wanasaidiwa, ama wengine wazazi wako lakini hawajiwezi, bado wanasaidiwa na Lumo. Kwa hivyo tunaona Lumo kweli inatuinua.
I think now the community is happy. The community is seeing something is happening. The community is being helped. Like here we have bursaries. Each year we have been giving bursaries to the community for children who are in need, who are orphans. We have been giving out for bursaries, and we expect to go on. And for the bright children, we have to give bursaries to assist, so that they may go and come back well equipped to assist in the conservation of flora and fauna.
Tuendelee kulinda wanyama pori, maana wana faida sana. Kuacha tusiangalie tu pembe za ndovu, maana wale watu wanaotoka nje kuja hapa wanatuletea pesa nyingi sana, na hatuwezi kuzilinganisha na zile pesa ambazo ungepewa za pembe za ndovu. Kwa hivyo tafadhali tuungane sote dunia nzima kulinda wanyama pori.
This is where anybody who has an intention of seeing elephants, Lumo would be the easiest place where you would see elephants. So we can say the local people here, or the local communities, are contributing directly to the conservation of the endangered species in the name of elephants.
Chairman, Board of Directors, Maluganje Elephant Sanctuary. This sanctuary belongs to the community around here. Maluganje Elephant Sanctuary is a corridor of elephants. It is between the Shimba Hills National Park and
the Maluganje forest. When the elephants are from Shimba Hills, they cross this corridor of Maluganje to Maluganje forest.
I am the manager of Maluganje Elephant Sanctuary. I have been a manager for the last 6 years. Maluganje is a community-owned sanctuary. It was established in 1995, and the objective for establishing the sanctuary were two: one, to reduce human-elephant conflict within the area, and two, to generate revenue for the community through ecotourism. So to solve the problem, the community seeked advice from the Kenya Wildlife Service, and they were advised, if possible, to consider leaving that land as habitat for elephants. They get land elsewhere, and they get revenue from running an ecotourism enterprise. So Maluganje was registered as a company, and membership is strictly on land ownership. For you to be a member, you must own land in the sanctuary.
Now, from the time the community moved out of this place, the elephants are very comfortable. There is no conflict. Human wildlife conflict is no longer there. So the elephants are moving freely.
In the sanctuary, we normally have employees. We have 17 employees, all of whom come from the community. So some of the benefits the people get from the ecotourism enterprise is employment, and then during the end of the year, the revenue we have collected is actually shared among us, the land owners based on how big your land is.
And we also give bursary to our members. Actually, we select the best children that are doing well in school.
We have 3 projects which are enterprise-based. One, we have got the elephant dung pickup project, whereby employees of the sanctuary go to the fields or the safe areas to collect elephant dung, and then the elephant dung is mixed with waste paper from the different industries, different offices within Kwale and outside Kwale, and the elephant dung is actually processed, mixed with the waste paper, and then we get paper which is dried, and using that paper, souvenirs, things like bookmarkers, albums, notebooks are actually made. Now, these products are sold to our visitors at the gate. We also have shops in Okunda in conjunction with the hoteliers, and also at Shimba Lodge within the Shimba ecosystem in Shimba Hills National Reserve. Now, the revenue we get from that enterprise is actually added up with what we collect from the gate and shared to the landowners at the end of the year.
And this is a photo frame. You can just take the photo and you hang on the wall. Okay. And also made photo album. So the photo album, we can stick the photos like this. We also made cards. This is the card and the envelope. We can just stick in the envelope and send to your friend. This is the journal. You can just write your stories about Kenya, about Mandan, Elephant Center. Also made notebook. You can write your private thing, put inside the pocket, and we make the bookmark. For the novel readers, instead of reading your page, if you're reading your novel, just place a bookmark on the page will be really nice.
The decision by the community to give out their land for conservation was actually very good and very, very important for the conservation of the elephants. Elephants require very large areas, very large habitats, okay, for them to carry out their activities, to get food, do reproduction, get mineral resources. So without that land, the elephants may not have been able to survive. But communities understood the importance of the elephant. That's why they gave out their habitat for the elephants.
Mimi ni mfanyikazi wa hapa Maluganje kama scout, na hii sanctuary kutoka ilipofunguliwa tuseme mwaka 1995 imetupatia faida sana, kwa sababu ndio maana niko hapa kama mtoto wa Mwanahisa. Imesaidia watu kupata kazi, alafu hii pesa ambayo inapatikana hapa kutokana na ndovu inasaidia, hiyo revenue inasaidia kujenga mashule, inasaidia kujenga mahali kwa maji. Kwa hivyo hiyo pesa inasaidia tu sana community ile ambayo inapatikana kwa hii sanctuary.
Currently, the small income which is coming in, every time a visitor comes in, every time a tourist comes in to look at the wild animal, he leaves something at the gate and leave something as bed night. So we are getting something from these wild animals.
So within conservation areas like Lumo, where the communities have embraced conservation, they have seen the importance of conservation, and therefore they take part in wildlife conservation in several ways. One of the ways is through ensuring that the elephants are safe.
I'm telling other African countries all over the world, even other countries apart from Africa, those who have interest in joining us, they can still join us. And other African countries who have elephants like Maluganje, why don't they come together and reserve the elephants, make a sanctuary like the one we have, so that they can have visitors and also benefit? Because this is a very rare animal, so it has to be reserved, it has to be protected for the future generation.
Wildlife is actually a resource, and mainly in Kenya, people associate wildlife with the government. So people think that wildlife is there for tourism to benefit the state. But generally, when people or when communities start their own wildlife sanctuaries or conservancies for that matter, then they are able to reap from tourism. And therefore, once they make gains or benefits from tourism, from wildlife related tourism, then they are able to support wildlife conservation.
So we need to come together. They need to partner up with other like-minded people who would like to conserve the flora and fauna. They come together, they do as we have done.
The value of elephant, I would say, is quite high to us, because looking at the amount of money we make at the end of the year, it's quite high, and the members are comfortable. Two, the products we are getting from the elephant dung paper, that enterprise is actually able to run on its own. Looking at the input you are putting in and the output in terms of sales, it's actually sustaining that business. So really, even though we may not be able to give you the elephant is worth this amount of millions, but then to us, from an enterprise perspective, it's quite high. It is sustaining the sanctuary, it is sustaining the community, it is helping the community. So to us, we give it a very high value.